Welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, the show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs use human design to shift from hustle to flow without sacrificing results. Come here to become an unshakable human and build an unshakable business according to your human design. I'm your host, Nicole. Hello and welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, everybody. I'm your host, Nicole. It's you and me today. We have the Authority Accelerator Masterclass going on right now, which is my free masterclass where I teach you how to build an aligned and profitable business according to your human design. If you're interested in that, please join us. Replays are up until March 12th. So if you are listening to this before March 12th, you could still get in on the action. All you have to do is go to my Instagram, DM me the word masterclass. I'm at Nicole Official. And we will register you right there in the DMs and send you a link to watch the replays right away so that you can start to catch up with us. Or you can go to nicolelano.com/masterclass and you can register right there on the website. That'll still be up for you. Because today we're going to talk about, this is something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. And I think that it's a concept that, I might ruffle some feathers when I say this, but we're going to talk about why being good at what you do or being even great at what you do isn't enough, and what you should focus on, and how you can get out of this rut that you might feel that you're in, where you feel like you are the best kept secret, that if you could only get people to see you, then you would have this great business, you'd be financially free, you'd be making an impact. And I see so many talented, special, really amazing entrepreneurs. They tell me that, they hate marketing. And I used to say this too. They say things like, if I could only just coach and not have to market myself. I feel like I'm doing all the things. I feel like I'm showing up, and I hate it so much because I'm not getting the results that I want. People aren't responding to me. I don't have people in my DMs asking how they can work with me. I don't have people responding, filling out the forms on my website or emailing me or anything like that. And they're not responding to the things that I send them. They're not clicking my links. What's going on? And it's defeating. And again, I'm going to say something here that might trigger some people, but it isn't marketing that's the problem. It's that you don't know how to sell yourself. If you're saying any of those things, it isn't the fact that, social media is the problem, or that the algorithm is not kind to you, or people aren't opening emails anymore. That's not it. You don't know how to market yourself. You don't know how to sell yourself. And when we suck at something, we typically tend to shy away from it. We tend to not try to really get better at it because we've accepted. And this is why it's so important to understand how you speak to yourself. The words that we say matters. I say this to my clients all the time. I don't allow them to speak about themselves and to themselves this way. And I call them out on it because it is so damaging to the way that we show up. If we show up saying things like, I'm not good at marketing, I hate marketing, I hate Instagram. Instagram is not my favorite place to spend time. I'm not going to say that I have the best time creating content, just because honestly, there's usually a lot of technical things that, how long it takes to actually put something in Canva, it takes a while. I'd rather spend my time doing other things. But I don't hate Instagram. I don't hate social media, because the truth is that it drives sales to my business. If I post more on Instagram, I make more money. That's just how it works. So that changes my relationship with it, right? I don't look at it like this worthless thing in my life. It's not where most of my business comes from. My business mostly comes from this podcast. But it's also because this podcast is created and positioned in a very specific way. And I know how to sell myself. I know how to sell my services. And this is something that I'll hear from entrepreneurs a lot. They'll say, well, I've done messaging work and I've worked on my message. And, they'll blame social media and they'll blame a podcast, that nobody's listening. I don't know how to grow it. But even when I meet people in person, even when I meet entrepreneurs in person and I ask them what they do and I ask them to tell me about their business, or when I do clarity calls with people who book calls with me to talk about my programs and what I do, I always ask them what they do and how they help and tell me about their business. And the two things that shock me, they don't really shock me anymore, but I nod my head and I'm like, okay, well, there we go. That's a problem that we have to fix, because they can't tell me definitively who they help or how they help them. And I don't mean giving me like a perfect I help statement. I really don't care about that necessarily, but they can't really describe to me how they help, or they're speaking in such jargon and they're telling me what their credentials are and what their certifications are. But they're not actually telling me how they help a person, right? And if you can't do that, you can't get a person to pay you, because they're like, okay, I don't know if I need a level 3 Reiki healer. I don't know what Reiki does. I don't know what it can do for me. Oh, it's some energy thing. Well, what can you help me with as a Reiki healer? What would Reiki do for me and my life that I'm going to exchange my hard-earned money with you for that service, right? So there's that aspect of it, but it destroys your confidence. It destroys your confidence when you can't articulate it. I watch these powerful, special, talented people shrink before me, and just sort of their whole energy and body demeanor and everything changes and shrinks, because on some level they know, I don't know how to say this. I know I'm really good at something, but I don't know how to say it. So I'm going to tell you another thing that I see that's a problem, but then I'm going to tell you how we fix this. I'm going to tell you, I have something that I do with my clients that helps beyond all other things that we do. Because most programs and messaging programs, it'll take you through the problems and desires, which feels pretty run of the mill, right? Tell me what problems you solve, tell me what problems your audience has and how you solve them. You know, sounds pretty simple. But I actually take my clients through a process that helps them understand what they do. And that's often left out of messaging work. That's often not gone through. You just get a questionnaire asking you about problems and desires of your audience, but it doesn't really talk to you about your process or help you work that out. And the process that we use inside my Business by Design mentorship, I take you through a process to help you understand your expertise and also how you package it, so it helps to strengthen your offer and it builds your message. So I'm going to share that with you in just a minute, but I'm going to talk about the other thing that I notice a lot of entrepreneurs having a problem with, is that when I ask them how they get clients and how they bring clients in, they don't have a process for it. These are two fundamental problems that happen with pretty much, I'm going to say 85, 90% of the entrepreneurs I speak with. They can't tell me what they do. And when I ask them how they bring in clients, they say, well, I don't really. And that's not me bad-mouthing anybody. But when we then look at why our business isn't working, we have to look at some of these strategic elements. And then I know that sometimes we can feel like we need healing, and we look to systems like human design to help us with the healing. And I believe in that, but we have to heal and do. We can't disappear. A lot of people hide in healing. I used to do that too. I was like, oh, I just wasn't ready to move. And that was a cop-out, and that was an excuse. And that was me hiding from the work that I really needed to do that made me uncomfortable. And this is the work that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, which is why I'm calling it out. Having a system to bring in clients. A lot of people don't know how to build one, so they get overwhelmed by it and then they hide someplace else. So making these two things a priority, because being great at what you do is not enough. You have to be able to articulate it, tell people what you can do for them, and then have a process for bringing them into your world as a paid customer. I know it sounds simple, but there's a lot that goes into this. And a key aspect that I have that helps with the first part exponentially, it is a huge part of what we do in helping you articulate what you do and building your offer so that you can move clients into it, is a framework. Building out your signature framework and doing it in a way that make sense from a messaging standpoint. So really digging into your process. Most entrepreneurs, particularly ones in the transformational space, don't know what their process is. They just do it with people, which is why working one-on-one with people can work, because you're just asking them questions and then you're like, oh, well, here, I'll take this tool out of my toolbox and I'll use it on you. Here, I'll give you this exercise. Here, I'll help you this way. And that's a great place to start, is with that one-on-one work. But as you get bigger, you're going to want to bring people in. You're also, if you get that one-on-one client, a lot of times it's from a referral. You never sold yourself to that person. Somebody else sold you to that person. And that's wonderful. But we can't count on that necessarily as much as we would like to. That's not predictable enough for me. I need to know that I can make sales happen so that I know what my profit will be. And I know what I can bring home to my family. That is my boundary. I need to know. I can't just wait for somebody to refer me. I can ask for referrals and I can try to drive people to them, but I'm not going to count on my business running off of referrals. That'd be crazy to me. So you have to have a way of selling yourself. When I made learning to sell myself my number one priority, then sales calls became less intimidating and also less important. Once I had certain aspects down where I started to understand my framework, which is what I take you guys through in the Authority Accelerator Masterclass, I take you through my framework. Once I understood how I helped, what was the process that got people the result that I'm promising, which is to help people build an aligned and profitable business to bring you to your first 6 figures and to have your business be built to scale beyond 6 figures. These are the steps that you go through. And then I know how to do that. The way that we do it inside the program is we do it from a place of messaging first. So it's all about being able to align the things that you are helping people with, the things in your framework, with the messaging elements that you need to sell the framework. It's not just about talking about the tools that you use. It's not just about saying, well, I use EFT. Why do you use it? How would you explain this to somebody? And we take you through that. And when you have that, it becomes your Bible. And when you have that, you suddenly know how to sell yourself and your whole energy changes. And that's how you start to magnetize people. But then also once they're magnetized and they're paying attention to you, then you can actually be giving them solid evidence and a clear path to, this is how I get that result for you. Do you want this? Excellent. Here, let me explain to you how I do that. And here's why that's so important now, more than it was even a few years ago. We are in a time where so many people have invested in coaches, programs, and made other investments that haven't really paid off. They haven't really delivered on the promise. People blindly bought a lot of things. They just bought the line. They bought whatever it was you said you were going to do. They just bought it because it sounded good. If they liked you, they bought it. There were a lot of people who bought purely from magnetism a few years ago. They were just like, wow, she's got so much power. She's so sexy. She's got these pictures. She's got this. I want to learn from her. I will pay her $10,000 for this 3-month program, purely based on the fact that she's so magnetic. But now, having been down that road, people are smarter. They are more discerning, is how I look at it. The buyers right now are more careful. I hear from almost every single person I talk to. I've invested in a lot in the past. I'm definitely cautious because I've invested. They're either worried about themselves, that they're not going to deliver on their own promise to themselves, or then they'll let themselves down, or that the coach will. So when you can explain to somebody the process that you will take them through, here, let me tell you how we get results. Let me break this down for you. That makes them, the client, feel like they can get their head around that, where they're like, okay, I get what we're going to do. I believe in that. I believe I will do that. I believe you will hold me through that and help me do it. And they believe in you, that you actually know what you're doing and that what you're talking about is real. Because so many people were bullshitting for so long and people bought bullshit. We don't want to be those people. There's such a huge opportunity here in this market to be a coach, a service provider of integrity, and to have you be known for that in your space. I like to think that I hold that position. Certainly with my clients, they know that what we do together, they are changing their lives. And I hear that from them consistently. And they have the tools that they need within the program, and they know where they're going. And if they don't, they ask, because that's the type of setup we have. So when you have something built out and it's carefully thought out and you can articulate it, you both set your clients at ease and you make them believe in you because you're not winging it. And a lot of coaches right now, a lot of people, they're winging it. And you might be wonderful at what you do, but it's going to be hard for people to trust that. If you're asking them to invest any significant amount of money, it can be hard for them to invest that with you if you can't explain to them how you're going to deliver. And so I hope that this was helpful. I hope it made you feel empowered to nail down your process, to put words to it, to understand it. And yes, human design and these other tools, they play a huge role in it in my world. It's your magic that goes into this. We don't lose who you are, but you do have to be able to put words to your magic. And that is how you get people to pay you. Okay? So I hope you found this helpful. If you want to see a deeper dive into my whole framework and how I explain things and how I take people and how I get people results, please join the Authority Accelerator Masterclass. It's still going on until March 12th. You can watch the replays. Please join us. Come on over. You can reach out if you have any questions, and we'll send you an email right away with the links to the replays if you sign up right now. So thanks for letting us help you today. Thank you for being here with us. And remember, in order to have an unshakable, you must first become an unshakable human. So thanks for letting us help you become unshakable with human design, everybody. We will see you next time. If you love this episode and you're a fan of the show, please show us the love on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the show and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with other entrepreneurs on their human design journey, join our free Facebook community, Human Design for Entrepreneurs. Go to nicolelano.me/podcast links to join the group, book a human design reading with me, or access our free human design resources. We'll see you there.